What's up, man? Welcome back. It's WHITEBOYRADIO. If it's your first time here, if you enjoy the story, the show, the presentation, it's WHITEBOYRADIO. It's in the name. I always put white boys first. My loyals, my members, my real supporters, smash a like for me, man. I know you will. I appreciate you, man, before we even get started. You see the title. I guess this is my L. This is my story of my L. I'm bringing this to you now because we're speaking about joking, playing around in prison. Listen, it's no secret if you follow this channel, I like to laugh. I like to do that in life in general. I did it inside a prison and the most stressful of times, and I continue to do it out here with what's going on in the world. Not that I'm not taking it seriously, but you have to laugh. You have to laugh. You know, when you're in prison, there's the saying that everybody and their mom knows: do the time, don't let the time do you. Everybody knows that. Yeah, I get it. Okay. With that said, you really have to embrace that and understand what's behind it. You know, look, if you got calendars to X off, days and weeks to X off, which would be a bad thing. Don't ever do a calendar. It'd be the longest time of your life. You have to understand how to kill it, man. Kill the time and make it pass. So I used to joke a lot. So I guess it was going against the grain of my own little code inside a prison. All right. You know, this is going to be part 2 of joking around or whatever. I'll probably make this a playlist because there's going to be a lot of stories in this one. But meat and potatoes of it is, this story was when I was in jail. I've said on the channel before, I have never lost a fight in prison. And I'm not saying when I was in prison, I was fighting every single day. Don't want the perception to be mixed up or twisted around. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. Honestly, if I could have went through all my bids every day that I've been locked up inside, whether it's jail, prison, or whatever, if I could have picked or chosen not to fight, that would have been, you know, the way that I want to do it. I never asked for trouble. It just found me. You know, and I wasn't in a million fights or anything like that, but when it came my way, I would handle it. With that said, this one here could have been avoided, okay? Joking and playing around in prison, you know, you just don't do it. For the first reason, you don't know what the next man, what's on the next man's mind, you know, and that goes for jail or prison. You know, in jail, you know, people are fighting cases. They're stressed out. They're away from their family. It goes both ways, jail, prison. But you know, there's immense amount of stress on a man's mind. And the same for in prison. You know, they at that point they've caught the time, and now they're dealing with it, and they're stressed out about giving it back or getting out to the street or whatever have you. You know, it's common sense. So on this one, man, I'm in the kitchen, man, and there's a person involved in this story that I've yet to bring on for an interview, and that would be a correction officer. It's a good friend of mine. Okay, I know a CO very, very well. I'll leave it at that. There's a lot left to be said about this channel. I have ADD and I go all over with the stories. But right now we're talking about joking. I was in jail on this one. I never lost a fight in prison, but the L that I did take happened to come in jail. Okay, and I was in the kitchen at this time. I was a trustee. And time was easy, man. I knew the CO very well. I don't even want to tell you how well. I'd rather him tell y'all, so just wait for that, but I'll skip that part. So I was in the kitchen working, just doing my daily routine. A lot of you guys been in, you know how the kitchen duty is. It sucks. But I'm pretty sure, I've never done time outside of Florida. I'm pretty sure where you've done time at, if you're a trustee or you're working in the kitchen, whether it's prison, whether it's jail, the blind spot is in the cooler. Okay, and that's where this went down. It was in the cooler. There was a dude named Ronald. Okay, Ronnie, Ronald, whatever you want to call him. He was a black dude. He was a blood, and he's well built. I say he's about a buck 85, buck 90. But he was if I had to describe him to give you a visual, it would be, just imagine an athletic black dude playing basketball. He had these long, lanky arms, and he had already been to a JIT camp at this time. So he had been to prison once before. We were in jail this time, and so had I. Okay, I've been to prison as well. And for the most part, me and this dude got along. Okay, were we best friends? No. He did what he did, and I did what I did. And I say he was a blood, but take that with a grain of salt, because remember, this is a jail setting, and also this is a trustee dorm. So it's not like a prison setting where it's very gang related. He was a blood, but he really wasn't banging blood in the trustee dorm. You don't have to. You have 1 foot out the door. Nobody wants to mess up that kind of status, because you're going to get out faster than the average person. So that's where we're at. And I didn't have any beef with this guy. We didn't have any words. It was nothing like that. It was as simple as this. I'm in the cooler, and we were just burning time. It was 3 people in there, and 3 people only. Me, Ronald, and the CO that I knew. And he was, the subject of fighting came up, and just fighting in general, and whether it was UFC or whatever. And we're talking or whatever, and he asked me if I wanted the slap box. Okay, so I'm like, nah, I don't want a slap box, because I know better about slap boxing. I know what comes of it. So many fights happen when 2 people slap box, because one is going to hit somebody harder or whatever else, and then there's pressure, and then the next thing you know, you're fighting. And well, guess what the hell happened? We start slap boxing, and I told him I don't want a slap box, and then he was almost like he called me out or whatever. So I'm like, what's up? What do you want to do? So we start slap boxing. I'm a big dude, man. One reason I don't like the slap box, if you're not a good friend of mine and we haven't done it before, I'm a big dude. I don't know how to slap you nice. I just don't. I'm not used to throwing my hands and them landing nice, okay? Slap boxing is a way to get your hands right, okay? Everybody does it, and I shouldn't have done it in this instance, but we did it. And in the midst of us slap boxing, I did hit him too hard. I did not, honestly, there's no reason for me to lie to you right now. I didn't do it on purpose, okay? But I did land one too hard. And he stepped back, and we had literally words for about 1.2 seconds. Yeah, I hit him too hard. He didn't like it. He squared up. I squared up. And then we went from slap boxing to exchanging in a matter of less than 2 seconds. And the dude was lanky, man. He had reach. He had the big old long basketball arms. So he caught back, and we were just exchanging, man. It was hit for hit. But man, he leaned me. He leaned me on one of them, and look, the dude beat me. I'm not gonna say he whooped me. I'm not gonna say, he didn't knock me out. He didn't drop me. He leaned me and was able to hit me a few more times than I hit him. So yeah, he did beat me. Okay, look, just keeping it real. It's funny though what happened after that. After that, my face was red. He's black. That's one thing I can't stand. His face he's black. You can't see what I did to him, but my face is red, this and that. We walk out of the cooler. We did this in front of a CEO, but remember, this is a friend of mine. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie, it was even worse. It was worse for me because my pride was hurt a little bit. This is a friend of mine. It's not like just a random CO that I know. I literally know this dude, have hung out with this. I know this dude very well. But needless to say, I walk out the cooler. He walks out the cooler, and people are looking and stuff like that. And I was definitely in my feelings about it. But I knew better. I was more like mad at myself than the situation. I know better to be slapboxing and playing around with people, but I know what leads of it. So I know everything that I'm saying in this video, and I'm kind of walking with my head down. I'm kind of discouraged. It's like when you're little and your parent says, "I'm not mad at you," I'm disappointed. It's kind of what I was telling myself. But we went back to the dorm, and the dude, I remember I went back to my bunk, and I had to grab my stuff, and I didn't realize. I guess I had a look on my face, mean mugging, whatever you want to call it. I remember he was playing spades with his brothers. In this dorm, you had like a long hallway with the phones to your left, a whole wall of phones while you walk through this hallway, and then to the right was the huge open bay dorm. And as you keep walking down this hallway, passing the phones, passing the bedding area, in the front was the TV hanging, and then then you had the officer station in front of the phones. Okay, so you had the bedding area and the TV, and then there was a wall with crappers, urinals, and then the shower. So I walk into the shower, not realizing the look that I had on my face. And I walk past him, and he's playing spades with his brothers. Some of them were Spanish, and a couple of black dudes. And the dude, like I said, he was a blood. He wasn't really on that in this dorm, but you still hang with who you hang with in jail. I remember walking to the shower, and the showers were full. I put my stuff over there, and I walked back because they call mail call now. So I'm in my boxes or whatever. I guess I had a look, and I'm waiting for mail, and the table's right there where they're playing spades. He's like, "Hey, Big Matt, man, you straight, man? You straight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm straight. What's up, man?" And we had our words. I'm like, "Why would you ask that?" And I hear them like, inner talking amongst themselves. And I thought of that, and I finally went to the shower. The shower opened up, and I go into the shower. But I'm thinking about it, and they're politicking. I was more or less like, frustrated with myself that I put myself in that situation, if you will. Look, the dude didn't lean me, drop me, or knock me out or nothing, but I was frustrated that I put myself in that spot. So maybe I was walking around looking crazy. I can't tell. There, you got the dingy mirrors in jail, but reflecting back what he was saying and thinking about it in the shower, he's politicking with his brothers. He thought I still had something on my chest. And I get out the shower, and I walk past them again, and I go to my bunk. And whatever I was doing at my bunk. But he come to me, an hour or two later. He comes walking down. I see him coming to me. He sat on one of my friend's bunk. That's another thing. I posted a picture of me and a friend of mine on Instagram, and I said R.I.P. At this exact story in this exact dorm, I had a friend that was in the dorm with me. We did a power move. I knew this dude from the street. I knew him for many years. Very good friend of mine. We did a power move. So my bunk was right next to my buddy's bunk. Okay. So he sat on my buddy's bunk. I already told my buddy about it. And, it's my friend. It's not somebody I knew from jail. I knew him from the street. So of course we're going to be together in jail. But he sat on my buddy's bunk, and he was like, "Hey man, what's up, man? You got something on your chest, man?" We were just, he was just kind of politicking with me, and he basically said, you look like you still have something on your chest, this and that. And I'm like, "Nah, dude, I told him everything in this video, man. I'm like, listen, man, I didn't really want to slap box you, and I told him, I said, man, I didn't mean to hit you that hard. I said, I never wanted to fight you, bro, but it just happened so fast. He said, man, it ain't nothing, man. You've been in the chain gang, I've been in the chain gang. It ain't nothing, man. It ain't nothing. And he gave me a dap. But the moral of it was, when I walked past him, I guess he knew I had been to prison. We had spoke previous about it, of what camps I've been at and whatnot. I knew he'd been at a JIT camp. I knew he went to Brevard, which is a pretty serious JIT camp here in Florida. But because he's been to prison, and because I've been to prison, a lot of times in prison, people will fight, and usually when people fight, they get it off their chest. Win, lose, or draw, it's off your chest, and you have respect for that man or whatever, and then you just keep it moving and do your time. But every so often, people will feel some type of way about the loss and want to do something else to the person that beat them, whether it's locking the sock, whether it's get a knife. A prime example of this is the story I told in was it TV room? TV room. Yeah, it's an older video where a Muslim dude fought a gang member and got whooped, and then next thing you know, the Muslim wanted to run it back with the dude on the side of the building, and he gets stabbed up, and they helicopter him out of there. Go check that video out. I'll put it in the end screen. But because he had the prison aspect and experience, he was just seeing where my mind was at. But I told him, how I felt, and that I never really wanted to fight him, needless slapbox him, and he knew where I was at. I knew where he was at, and but he still was sketch about it. I didn't want to hit him with a lock. I didn't want to shank him. I'm in a trustee dorm. I would never back my time up. But he's been to prison, so I understand what he was thinking about. So he peels off. My buddy comes back. We talk about it. He's also been to prison before, and that's it, man. Look, you fight in prison, and like I said, you win, lose, or draw. It's just what it is. I was more frustrated at myself. Plus, he was a young dude, man. The dude was young. Tell you what, he had some hands, fast. He had reach more than anything. But hey, look, that's what playing does. I had no beef with this dude. We not even had more or less had words before, but it was just playing, joking around in prison leads to these type of things. Playing around, just in general, saying the wrong things in front of people, whatever it is, you never know what's on the next man's mind. And I'll tell you what, I took the loss. Did I learn a lesson? No. No. Well, there's no lesson to be learned. I knew not to do that, doing that, but I continued to play with who I knew with, I guess I could say. But I reassured myself, I'm skull boning myself, but I knew not to do the situation. But the meat and potatoes of the story is joking around in prison is no bueno, is no good. And that's what happens. I will say, can't say a high percentage, but I'll say like this. People joking around 70% of the time you see fights in prison is because of this exact subject, topic, however you word it. People will joke around. I'm not saying you can't joke and clown with your own homeboys or whatever else. I'm not saying, hey, sometimes that happens too. But that's what you want to do. I didn't call him to the cooler. We didn't have a private session. My friend worked at the jail. He is in charge of all the trustees, and this dude just happened to be in the cooler with me at the time, and we're discussing, fighting or whatever happened in this dorm, whether it be USC, whatever it was, and then we just slapbox. That cooler, I got into a lot of scuffles in that cooler, not necessarily beefs and straight up fights, but You know, I wrestled the Airmark dude in that cooler. He's a big dude. I dump trucked him, man. I buckled him behind his kneecaps and I dumped him. I did a lot of things in that cooler. So people knew I used to play and stuff. But again, you don't want to pick and choose in jail and prison when it comes to fighting, because that makes you a coward if you pick and choose your battles. But that's if there's real pressure or real heat, you don't do that. It makes your character go down. But you definitely pick and choose who you play with, because it can lead to heat or it can lead to real beef. And at the end of the day, joking around, you don't want real heat or beef behind joking around, because you shouldn't be doing it anyway. But look, I like to laugh and joke, so I don't regret it. But there's my L. That's my story. Lock in with me, man. Subscribe. Check out the little blue join right there by the subscribe button for the perks of the memberships. Join the memberships, man. Support a white boy. I'm trying to grow this channel. Until the next one, man, stay out, stay safe, stay solid. Always, always, always stay 10 steps ahead of what's going on out here. Stay sane, read, work out. Till the next one, man.